Hey BookTube, how's it going? Today I'm gonna start a new series of videos. And this is going to be, um, you probably have a better idea of it than I do right now because you saw the title. But this is going to be Conan Exiles, the game, versus the Conan of Robert E. Howard. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of different aspects of the game and then talk to you about um, if that's even talked about in Howard's Conan. Um, and the reason why this comes up is because in the I've played the game a lot on single player, and on the small amount of um, multiplayer server action I've had, I've come to realize that not many people playing the game really know anything about Conan, or at least the Robert E. Howard version of Conan. A lot of people know Jason Momoa or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or even the Dark Horse comics, which is cool. You know, a lot of the Dark Horse comics are very close to source material in the Marvel comics, um, at least Savage Sword, which might be something else we talk about. Um, but to get into this a little bit, um, I'm going to go over a bunch of it and show it to you and talk to you about it. And today we are going to talk about my favorite um, faction, I guess, in Conan Exiles, which is the Darfari Cannibals. But actually, let me talk to you a little bit about the game itself, because some of you booktubers might know Robert E. Howard Conan a lot more than you know of the funcom game Conan Exiles. So, basically, Conan Exiles starts off with you being crucified. And during the crucifixion, you get to do your character creation and all that. And you pick, um, like, what Hyborian race you are. You get to pick your religion. And we'll talk about religion in a little bit here. And all sorts of other stuff. Just make yourself pretty or ugly or the whole deal. Anyway, the game starts. You're out in the desert. You're crucified. There's some other people on crosses, it looks like. Um, and then you see this stranger walking towards you from the distance. Spoiler alert, it's Conan. Conan comes up and he talks to you a little bit. And basically, he knocks down the cross that you're on and pulls the nails out of your hands and feet and everything and gives you some water. And he says, like, where he comes from, men are killed in battle, not just hung up to die in the elements or whatever. Um, and then he's like, we will meet again, dead man. He's got a real funny voice in it. Anyway, so he walks off, and a sandstorm comes. Now, the sandstorms, I didn't really get any good pictures of sandstorms. I'm going to try to find some better pictures. They are one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a game, and it'll kill you. So you have to find shelter right away. So anyway, you find out that you are a criminal of some kind. You have this bracelet on your hand that's like a gold bracelet with like a green jewel in it. And that bracelet keeps you in this area known as the Exiled Lands. And I don't want to give too much away about what that is in case you decide to play the game, because there is a bit of a story. There's actually quite a few different stories that seem to be running through the game. But there's this barrier around the exiled lands called the Ghost Wall. If you look at it, it's green. When you get up close to it, it's like a transparent green. If you walk through the Ghost Wall with your bracelet on, you will die. If you take your bracelet off, you will die. So, best thing to do is just keep the bracelet on and stay away from the Ghost Wall. I tried to mine some ore that was just on the outside of the Ghost Wall and died. So, yeah, you cannot go through the Ghost Wall. Anyway, so now you're in this land of killers and degenerates and all sorts of other stuff. And you guys have to learn how to, like, love one another or something. But anyway, so going back to what I wanted to talk about today, I want to talk about my favorite faction. Now, there are races in the game, and there are factions in the game. The factions are almost like, I guess, tribes or something, or clans, but you can't be a part of it. And that's one thing that I kind of wish they were able to change in the game, but like you would probably have to like redo the whole game, because the NPCs are built to like just kill you if you come near them. So basically you have this these, especially down at the bottom of the map, like you have the desert area, and then you have the river that runs through it, and then you have some other places a little north of the river, in the main desert areas that the Darfari chill out at, basically. But they have amazing, like, I love their armor. I love their masks. I love their like decorations, like their tents, like their teepee things. Like, I wish you could have those in the game and have them be livable. Like, there are mods where you could get them, but you can't like go inside of them. And so maybe I'll do a mod and make that a thing. I just it's just so much fun. And of course their god is the cannibal god, Yogg, which is basically, I believe, Yogg Sothoth of the Cthulhu mythos, H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And the way you venerate your god is you go and you kill people, and then you chop them up with a Yogg cleaver, which is a blessed cleaver made out of bone, and then you bring that meat back to the altar, and the priest or whatever at the pit or abyss or rift, whichever one you make, blesses the meat, and it becomes, the purified flesh becomes, or does it become purified? I don't know. Basically, it gets special stuff, and then you get like these like manifestations of zeal, which if you collect enough of them, you can call your god Yogg to come and destroy your enemies, which is a lot of fun. So I hope I've sold you on the game, because I love it. So anyway, let's see what Howard says about Darfari Cannibals and Yogg and the whole thing. Okay, so first off, let me. Okay, here we go. So there's only two stories really that are Robert E. Howard stories. I might go into DeCamp and Robert Jordan and all that other stuff later, but I'm just focusing on Robert E. Howard right now. Now, there are two stories in which Darfari, or Darfar, we'll just say Darfar, are mentioned, and that is Red Nails. It's the place is mentioned a few times, and one of my favorite stories, Shadows in Zambula. Now, Shadows in Zambula is like, it's a fun story because it has Conan as one of those. He's just a dude. He's like, yeah, I'm here. I've been partying for a couple days. I bought my room at this inn because I knew I was going to go gamble my money away and get loaded. And I wanted to make sure I had a place to sleep. So it's just, he's so like, it's almost funny how he is about everything. So anyway, he goes there, and I'll give you a little bit of the story, okay? And this is like seriously like one of my favorite scenes out of any Conan story. He's laying there, okay? He's going to sleep. And while he's sleeping, he hears like the door open. And he's sleeping with his sword. He has it in his hand. He's like, what the fuck? Okay? And then like whoosh, he just like jumps up and slashes this dude in half basically, and lights a candle or whatever and looks at him, and it's this cannibal dude with like teeth that are like filed down into points, and he's like, holy macaroni. So he realizes that the innkeeper has, and I'm not really ruining anything for you because this is just how the story starts, and then it like goes crazy from that point. He finds out that the landlord has made a deal with these cannibals that, you know, don't eat people on the street who are from the town, don't like break into people's houses and eat them. I will give you human flesh in the form of a traveler anytime someone comes and stays at my inn. You can have them and eat them, take them to the roasting pit and whatever. So that's the deal that Aram Bakish, I don't know how to say a lot of these words. That's like their thing, right? So these are some of the bits out of this story. So he says the man on the floor was a cannibal slave from Darfar. So that is from chapter 2. The slaves from Darfar were notorious thieves. What else we got? Oh, and I think that's from Red Nails. They're just talking about the Darfar border. So anyway, that's basically all that the cannibals, the Darfari cannibals, are even talked about in Robert E. Howard's work. let me see here. And then Yogg. Okay, so there's only one mention in all of Howard's work that the Darfari Cannibals had anything to do with Yogg. Conan, in the very beginning of the story, is talking to this dude. He's like, Conan, you are of the West, you know not of the secrets of this ancient land, but since the beginning of happenings, the demons of the desert have worshipped Yogg, the lord of empty abodes, with fire. Fire that devours human victims. Okay? So that's all pretty crazy, right? It's kind of chaotic, you know. He's laying it on pretty thick. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about like what the game actually says about some of these things. So in the game, the description of Yogg is Yogg, also known as the Lord of Empty Abodes, is a beastly god worshipped primarily by the cannibal tribes of Darfar. Yogg offers strength in battle and victory over their foes. In return, the devotees of Yogg are expected to engage in ritual cannibalism. Yogg worshippers can expect to gain strength and vitality by consuming the flesh of human foes, and his avatar takes the form of a blasphemous flying horror. Wowzers, am I right? I mean, am I right? Let me see here. I'm trying to find. Sorry, I had it a few. Oh, okay, here we go. Kaplawi. So, under race, when the game starts and you get to pick your race, I guess, is the best way to put it. Barbaric to the core, Darfari are savage bandits and murderers that form loose bands in order to bring sacrifices to the altar of their god Yogg. Let me see, is that it? Oh wait, no, it actually says more under factions. If I recall. Boom. Okay, so the Darfari Cannibals are vicious cannibalistic worshippers of the outer god Yogg. They capture humans, ritually sacrifice them to their tentacled god, then feast on the remaining flesh. According to lore, they sharpen their teeth to points, and they rarely wear more than loincloths and ritualistic masks. Yeah, so that sounds like a good time. So anyway, they're kind of a large part of the game, and in fact, to get to the first dungeon, you have to go through kind of a large camp of the Darfari to get to the Abysmal Remnant. But it's so strange because like this is such a big part, and it's like these are like the first people you come into contact with in the game for the most part. And it's just such a couple like just a few sentences, and then as the story Shadows and Zambula goes, you end up on this whole other adventure, or Conan does, and really not until the end do you come back into contact with them, and at that point it becomes more of like a Chekhov's gun kind of thing. Yeah, it started to blow my mind how much stuff I guess Funcom and the developers of the game had freedom with when they were putting this game together. Like the things they pick and chose. That's why I really want to talk to you guys about it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the pictures and all of this stuff. If you have any questions about any of this, please leave them down below. If you are interested in me continuing to do this series, let me know. And hopefully it's a yes, because I'll probably do it anyway. But if you're new to the channel and you liked this, go ahead and subscribe, and hopefully every week I'll do one of these. I'll try to do it more than once a week, but I'm not gonna start writing checks my butt can't cash, if you know what I'm saying. So until next time, everybody, goodbye. Now I just got to figure out how to get out of all this. So give me a sec. Okay, goodbye.